So today I'm doing a troubleshooting on a F-150 2005. So I'm going to show you the way how you're going to check your truck if you have a gas problem or what the problem is the truck don't start. Just crank and wouldn't start. Okay? So the first thing that you're going to be doing with this truck, you don't have what you call it, the pressure, the switch on the pressure line on the injector line, so you can see the push it down to see if gas coming if someone cranking. Okay, so the easy step to do, you don't want to disconnect anything. You want to know if it's your fuel pressure or your gas pump is working or not, or the switch, the kill shut off switch is off and you're getting no fuel to your engine. So the first thing you want to do to test that, you can take out the regulator here, but you don't want to do that. So the easy way, you take like a brake cleaner or injector cleaner, okay, and you can squirt it. You disconnect your intake. You can disconnect it from there. Okay, you disconnect that and you just shoot a little bit inside and someone crank and see if the car gonna start. Okay, so while the person is cranking, you're gonna be shooting this, and what's gonna happen, your engine is gonna suck that inside and that's gonna replace your gas for a couple of seconds. Okay, so if your truck start, then you know what happened, your gas is not getting to your engine. Okay, so now you can narrow down the problem that your truck is not getting gas. Alright, so your next step, what you're going to be doing, you're going to be going into the right side kick panel and check for a shut-off switch. Okay, because the shut-off switch is basically like a breaker in your home. If you pull too much current on it or you put like a microwave and you're using something else, it's going to trip your breaker switch. So you have to go in your panel, reset it. So your shut-off switch for the fuel pump is the same principle, that you can hit a bump, something on the road, highway, and you just trip the switch and then you're going to be stuck. You don't know what to do after, call a tow truck. But if you know where to find the switch, you can try that switch. You just have to reset it, you just have to push it down and it's going to be reset. Sometimes that is not your problem, then you have to move to the next step. So I'm going to go step by step to show you what is the next step you have to do in finding this problem. Okay? Okay, so the next step you're going to be doing, we're going to open the passenger door and we're going to locate the fuse box on the right kick panel. Okay, as you see here. And when you find that fuse box, the switch is so hide away that you have to be a rocket scientist to find it. I don't know why they stuck it there. It should be like visible so it's easy for you to get to it. But it's in the back of this fuse box here. You have to take one finger and shove it down in the switch. And if the switch click, you know that the switch was off. But if you find it's not moving, that means that the switch is good. The shut off switch did not trip. Okay? So you press it down, you didn't hear a click. You hear a click there when it's reset. If you don't hear the click, must know that your switch is good or your switch is not moving. That means it's in the right position. The problem is not your switch. So you have to move on to the next problem. Okay. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna move on to the module in the back, which control the power to your fuel pump and the ground. You're going to be taking, to get to the module here, this module will control the power and the ground and the priming power that goes there and the gas gauge, everything coming out from this module. Okay, so what's going to be happening now, you're going to be checking power coming to the module and the ground. Then you're going to check the power coming out from the module that goes to the pump and the ground. You have to make sure that those two are working. So, and the next main thing you need to do, you need to get a long jumper cable. The jumper cable, what I do, I put it from the battery so I know I don't have to put it on this truck that some part is rusted and you don't have a good ground, you could make wrong diagnostics. So when you get a cable, get it from the battery or get some long wire from the battery to the back here, okay? And you don't need no sophisticated computer or no sophisticated, all you need is a test light. Okay, this test light is what's gonna fix all the problem and make you do your diagnostic. Okay, you're checking for ground, you put your connection positive on the battery, okay? And when you're checking for power, you go and you switch your positive to negative. So now you're looking for power, which one have power and which one don't have power, okay? So that's all you have to do. And when it's coming from the battery direct, that you know that you wouldn't make a mistake here because it's coming direct. You don't connect it from the frame and then the frame is rusty, you're not getting a short or you're not getting good contact, okay? So this is the module. So let's say your power coming in, your ground is there, but you're not getting any signal out. So you'll have to replace the module, okay? So in this case, this module is good. It's sending the signal to the pump, okay? The ground is going to the pump. But you cannot see what's happening at the pump when you have this frame on here, okay? The tailgate is on. So you cannot see what happened from the module to the pump because it's low, so you cannot get to the pump. You cannot even test anything on the pump unless you move this up. And before you get to this module here, there's a spare tire underneath. You have to remove your spare tire so you can get good access to the module here, okay? So to get to your pump, you will have to check if the ground, your wire is not broken. So you're gonna check it on the connector of the pump, which I'm gonna be showing you soon. So that's the way you know that the module is good. You have power and ground coming in, you have power and ground going out. And this module have a primer wire that when you crank or when you turn your ignition on, you're gonna get, the pump is gonna start up and then it's gonna shut off. When it senses that the car is start, then you're gonna get it's gonna get 12 volt, it's gonna be start pumping and give it the 12 volt to the pump. So as soon as you start, you put your key and you turn it, what they call a primer, your pump is gonna be priming in that couple of seconds. And then when you crank it over, when you put it on the cranking, then you're gonna have your 12 volt is gonna kick in to give your pump the pressure it wants, okay? So now what you're gonna be doing, so I'm gonna tell you a secret to your pump can be working. Well, in this case, there's no gas coming, so we're trying to find the problem. Then I'm gonna tell you the trick about certain things, okay? So now everything here is good. Our power coming in, our ground coming in, our ground going out, our power going out. And our primer, the power is going to the pump. So now so now what you have to do, you have to lift up the tailgate, which is 6 screws that hold it. Very simple, 6 screws that hold it. You remove the 6 screw and you can get some, well, I use a engine jack to heist it because I have an engine jack. Lift it up, take out the 6 screw, and the only thing you have to disconnect is this vacuum hose here. And you disconnect the license plate light and the brake light and the regular light, okay? That's all you have to do. And disconnect 3 screws on the filler neck and everything. That's all to remove this here. 6 bolts on the top of it. Well, this one I had to cut some bolts because they're rusty, because you can see the truck itself. It's rust, so the screw don't move. So yeah, I had to cut them out. I have to replace them, okay? So now we established we get our power is going to the pump. So now we're gonna check the pump if power coming to the pump, because sometimes you can have a wire broken or cut somewhere, positive or negative, and it's not going to the pump, alright? So now we're gonna go to the pump. Okay, now so we are at the pump here. Okay, so the first thing that I see when I get to the pump is corrosion of the wire here. This wire connect here, and that's the wire that goes to the gas pump. Okay, but it's break off, so I think that was the problem, but that wasn't the problem because I put direct power to the pump itself and it didn't come on. Okay, so then I know that the pump itself is finished. So the pump itself is not working because I put direct power to it. Then I will have to change this connector, and I will have to change the gas pump, because the gas pump is the source of the problem. It's not working. Okay, but for this case, you need two persons to work it. You need someone to crank the vehicle, and then they're gonna check if the power is coming and if the ground is coming. So we have that. So now what we have to do, we have to put a new connection here, and then we order a new pump and replace the gas pump, and the problem is solved. Okay, so the tips I'm going to tell you about the safety about this one here is like, because you lift it up, all right, because I lift it up so high that I can get to see, and you can see under here what's going on here. Got the pump, you see it's easy access when you remove this tailgate here. So what you need to do when you do a job like this, you need to get a safety stand. You need to put a stand on both sides, so you don't want this to fall on your head while you're in here and you get your head stuck under this, and you're sure you're gonna die. So safety first, okay? And sometimes what's gonna happen with the gas pump, you can have the pump is working but it's very weak. In that case, your truck could be hardly driving, or you wouldn't have any power. So that in that case, you have to go to a garage that has to do a pressure test on the pump, because the pump is like, so imagine you an old person. When you're young, you're energetic, and when you get old, you're moving slower. So that's what happened to the pump. When the pump is old, it can be working slowly. So it's pumping a little bit that the engine can barely run, but you wouldn't have any power of the car. So that's the next problem you could get with a gas pump. Okay, so if you encounter that problem, the car is driving, the gas is coming, but the pressure is not enough. Because you see what happened, the pump has to give at least about 40 to 60 psi to the fuel injection. So the fuel rail with your regulator has to keep that pressure. So when you have that pressure, and when it's that time for that injector to fire or to put gas in the engine, the pressure in the line, as soon as the injector opens, it's going to spray that gas with such a force. So that's why you need the pressure in there. Because if you don't have pressure, then the injector is just going to drip a little gas in the cylinder, so you wouldn't have any spark. You would have spark, but you wouldn't have any combustion, or the combustion is not strong enough to pull the weight of the truck. So that's why your gas pump always have to give you the recommended pressure. Okay, so you need a recommended PSI, and if someone do a pressure test and your PSI, your pressure is low, between the manufacturer specification or the amount of pressure for your gas pump or for your engine to get, for it to function properly, you will have to replace your gas pump. But then the main thing before you even do that, you will have to check your voltage that's coming out of your module. So before you replace the pump, go through all this work, you want to see how much voltage coming out of your module. Because let's say, for example, your module at the back will give you less voltage to your pump, then you can have your pump will pump weaker, your pump is not getting full 12 volts. So before you change anything, you have to check your voltage there. In this case, you're going to need a multimeter. Okay, your car is running, and then you're going to check your voltage on that module there to make sure it has 12 volt. If 12 volt is coming, that means your pump is weak. If you have less than 12 volt is coming, you'll have to check the voltage coming to the module. Make sure the module volt, the one that coming to the module is 12 volt, because the one will start from there. Then, if that have 12 volt, then it's supposed to shoot for 12 volt, not 6 volt or below that, okay? So you do that, that's the test you're going to be doing to check for a weak pump, if your pump pressure is low, okay? So I hope that this tip helped you, and I hope you could take a job like this. And it's pretty straightforward. You don't need no sophisticated equipment. All you need, remember, a test light. And when you check in positive, you put it on negative. When you check in negative, you put it on positive, and that's all. And they recommended that you use a jumper cable from your battery direct to the back, so you know that your connection is good. So you can make the right diagnostic, and you don't have to make the wrong one by a bad connection on your test light. So this test light will do a lot in diagnosing this problem. Okay, and like I said, for a weak pump, you will have to check your voltage that comes out of the module that goes to the pump, so you know that the voltage is 12 volt, and then you know that if you have the correct volt, then you know if your pump, you have a weak gas pump. Okay, your pump is, there's so many things that your pump could do. You could, when it's warm, it stop, you can hit the bottom, try to get it to work, and as long as like that, you know, or your truck is driving very slow and you don't have power. So these are things you have to check, and especially if it's related to the gas, these are things you could check. Gas filter, some truck have it, some don't have it, and pressure drop, regulator problem. So there's something that you have to check before you like really do all this work, go to the pump, and it's not the problem. All right, if you have a regulator it's not working properly, what it's doing is going to be releasing back the gas, the pressure going to release back in the tank. So your regulator is, so you have to check that where your problem is coming. All right, so I hope that I can help you, and look out for more interesting video, and subscribe and like. Okay, bye.